So let's invite you into the breath. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. The past clearings were about the lack and limitation, stepping up to claim your space. If we have this fear about claiming our space in our lives and the world around us, whether this comes in friendships, careers, or even relationships within our families, we often struggle just to claim that space. This here is a stepping stone. I want you now to start looking and becoming aware of the argument and why you haven't claimed your space. The argument for your own limitations is that you don't have time, is that you don't want to participate, or is it more comfortable to slide into the background, not to be seen? Is there a fear of judgment? Or maybe you've been persecuted in the past. What are you resisting in claiming your space? There's something deeper at work here. And this is where I want to go with you today. This is meant to be your building block. And what came in was the word emotional impingements. Emotional impingements is something that comes up in many lives, and it refers to all aspects of fear. All aspects of fear. All of the emotions, or rather energy in motion. All those experiences we have, whether we want to identify them as anxiety or discomfort or nervousness or lack or not enough or sadness or grief. All of those things come back to fear. And we sit in the aspect of fear. Again, is that glass half full or is it half empty? The idea of perspective, the idea of neutrality, and the idea of choice. But fear is also a choice. Fear mirrors to us the relationship of the future. Fear mirrors to us the relationship with the future. The past has already happened, and we all know the outcomes. And if we sit in the present moment, even if it's not comfortable, there is this layer of knowing what is happening right now. But the future is what we struggle with because of the unknown. So fear essentially shows us the relationship with the future. Anytime we sit into creation, we sit in an outcome. If I quit my job, what would happen? If I leave this relationship, what could possibly happen? What different trajectory can we go down? So let's bring in choice. What are we going to choose based on evidence we gather from the past? We can draw on those experiences or the evidence of the past. This lifetime and all others. When I said yes to my gifts, when I was willing to be seen, this is what happened. And I remember. The body remembers. whether it's in the subconscious mind or in the heart or in that blood memory. I remember. I remember that it didn't work out, or it created this situation, or this person got hurt, or I had this emotion. And because of that, we choose something that avoids what that was. What are we giving our power away to? To the future? To potential events or situations? To the things that we think may happen? Because where our attention goes, the energy flows. And we create these experiences in which we don't want. Then it provides us with evidence or what we need to fear. It becomes a cycle and a circle. Future timelines are just trajectories. Our beliefs don't fit our lives. Our lives fit our beliefs. The point being is that we're giving our power away to the future. We set it in motion based on our past events, what we choose in our thoughts, our beliefs. If we're going to choose the choice of fear or worst case scenario, that is what will appear in some way, shape, or form. What if the question is, what do we do and what do we need to do instead? What can we replace fear with? Faith. We replace it with faith. What if you're excited about the future and it feels amazing, but you feel stuck? Is it that you're really stuck? Is that really true? Or are you allowing yourself to create the limitation of being stuck so that you don't give your permission to sit in excitement, to sit in it like it's already happened? Let's talk about faith. That more esoteric concept than fear. When we feel fear, it feels real to us because we've experienced it a lot. But I also want to be clear about the difference between trust and faith. Trust is based on past evidence. Building trust in someone, whether it's a person or event, is based on past evidence. And it's developed over time. And it can be broken with new evidence that supports those experiences. As humans, we're always looking for evidence and proof. As humans, we look for this proof and proving. That's why we struggle in our relationships and we don't trust our partners and friends, or we don't trust other women because we've been burned. And we expand on that where we trust nobody. Without really sitting into what is actually true. Faith, on the other hand, goes much deeper. Faith is a knowing. Faith resides in the space of the heart. It's an understanding and a belief that everything is happening for me rather than to me. So if you have this belief that life is happening to me, then you buy into the belief of fear and its relationships with the future. If you believe that everything is happening for you and through you, you look at life with a different lens. You look for reason, you look for the information, and you look for the message rather than looking to be the victim. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Is that really true? What we fear, we put into motion. So if you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop or someone to judge us, or always wanting to be abandoned, always waiting to be persecuted, doing the dance in between, what you put out, you get back. So where in your life are you limiting yourself because of fear? Is it a belief, an emotion, a behavior? It is a fear of being seen, being heard, being detected, deleted even. Oftentimes we delete ourselves because we don't like the way we look. Always present but never seen, never good enough. Is there a fear of putting yourself out there because of what somebody else would say? Or that you don't deserve to show up? So what is the shame of all of that? Do you feel fear and do it anyways? No longer allowing to limit you? Do you show up anyways? Do you use this as a crutch because that program is running? What are you leaning on? Coping mechanisms, your emotions, or your very own victim story? What are you keeping behind closed doors to avoid accountability for your own fear? The accountability that sometimes you dismiss, and other times you beat yourself up for it. I can't shine, step up to the plate. I can't shine my light. I can't. Because hanging on to behaviors of limitations. Keep doing the things that keep me limited. Doing what you're doing and getting the same result. And why do we do that? Because of our story. Because of the program. This belief keeps you from showing up. Keeps you from responsibility. And it keeps you from expanding into your own divine frequencies. Whether it's the I'm not good enough, whether I'm too small, whether I don't have enough training, I'm not smart enough, I'm too loud, I'm too big. And they are just stories that we have told ourselves. It isn't until we let go of that that we let something new in. And in that letting in, we create a newer, wider, expanded story. We stop subscribing to the fear and understand it is a choice. And we choose differently and we move through it. We choose to show up. And when that choice is made, then comes in the inspired action. In those moments, we talk ourselves out of it instead of talking through it. When there are no more excuses and no more playing small, we feel the fear and do it anyways. We walk through it. Because fear is just a relationship with the future. underneath the lack and limitation is fear. And what are the stories we make up so that we don't have to face our fears? The things we dance around rather than walking through. All the ways we let ourselves off the hook. Just so you don't have to do that one thing. How many times have you diminished a desire because of what you had to do to get there? So let's begin. Let's take a step forward through the fear rather than dancing around it. Because what we desire is waiting on the other side. It isn't always easy. And sometimes we need to walk through the fire for it. And you said yes. You said yes because of what you could experience here. Some of our lives have been hard. They've been traumatic. But what's the opposite of that? It's love, it's grace, it's possibility. Trauma is the loss of oneself. And when we heal, we come back home. So settle in. And if you're not there yet, soften the eyes and begin to bring in your breath. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth with an audible sigh. And as you continue to do this, I want you to exhale with force. I want you to find your fire. I want you to find your force. I want you to draw that belly in towards the spine and bring in the breath of fire. Signal to the body and the spirit that it's time to reawaken. It is time to release. Think of that breath as an excavation, sticking the shovel into the ground and digging a little deeper. As we are excavating layers, density, the energy, we are excavating the emotion. I encourage you to keep going even if you're tired, taking deep breaths in and exhaling with force. I want you to give yourself permission to be uncomfortable. Give yourself permission to walk through that fire. Give yourself permission to not talk yourself out of it. Not around it, but through that fire. It's not to you, but rather through you. And again, deep inhale, exhale with force. Really pulling from the belly. And on the next inhale, I want you to hold the breath. Drop the shoulders down and relax the face. And I want you to sip in one more breath through the nose. Hold all that breath in. Hold. Notice what you're noticing. Notice the process. Notice the thought. Notice where you're constricting. Let go to let in. Sip in one more breath. And when you're ready, slowly exhale out the nose. Allow that breath to return to its normal state. Soften and settle into that breath. And take notice if any energy has shifted. Is there a feeling, a swirling? Is there tension that maybe have been released? And notice any lightness. It's beginning to start to come through. Notice any softening. But also notice that you did not give in, but you rather stepped through that fire. The can't, I won't, the shouldn't, the fear. And you did it anyways. Begin to soften where you can soften and become one with your breath. Let that breath roll through you like a tidal in the ocean. It is one in the infinite number of waves, one of many, always shifting and changing and never numbered. Those waves are infinite form of many, just like you. And as we see this element of water, we become one with her. An infinite divine source. Allow this to move through you. Take a deep breath in and exhale with a sigh. Spirit and I are one, and we work together as a team. It is my intention to be a clear and neutral channel for the high self and for your spirit today. And how long will it take me to work? Yes, thank you. And how long will it take to prep my high self? Thank you. And how long will it take this group to prep? Thank you. Please clear and remove any blocking programs, any openings, any interferences, and negative energy. Permanently seal all openings, cracks, portals, and fill with love and golden light. Please remove any links in your high self community chains, and please clear, remove, elevate, and educate all your spiritual committees, including the high self, to the highest level of consciousness. Please reassign any and all committee members who are not ready, willing, and able to support 100% positive and 0% negative change. And please update and download all your spiritual committees, including the high self, with new education, knowledge, truth, wisdom, understanding, the light, and the potential in one universe, as well as the entire star system, and provide them with the intellect required to clear all negative programming and establish them with a new plan that's based on everything positive. Please reduce the size of your spiritual committees to the minimum size for the maximum effect, clearing all bodies of negative programming and reducing all portals and gateways down to one. Please clear any and all of the spiritual committees serving of any and all programs that we've created with our spirit, including replications, mirroring images, and rebuilding. And please reduce my ego to the minimum level required to facilitate this clearing, more than 0 and not to exceed 3%, suspend all judgment, and keep me 100% neutral. Please clear and remove any extra souls, any addictions to extra souls, and set up a triple layer of protection around each and every one of us, as well as our spiritual committees, around everyone in this container, allowing myself and our committees and the souls to be cleared to speak through this pendulum today. And I invite you to really soften down now. Begin to bring in your breath. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling with an audible sigh. Taking as many of these cleansing breaths as you need to. With each breath going a little deeper, filling up the lungs, exhaling fully. And a deeper sigh on the next breath. And again, drawing in, this time going into the belly, filling the muscles, the cells, widening and expanding with each breath. Allowing every cycle of that breath to lengthen and to soften. Giving the body permission to rest and relax. And at this time, I'm going to call forward any of your blocks, any of your barriers, any of those protection mechanisms, any nervousness, any anxiety. And we say yes to them. We acknowledge them. And we ask the body to begin the process of removing them. Barriers down, barriers down, barriers down. On all levels, all layers, all lifetimes, barriers down. And again, I want you to bring focus into the center of that chest, into that heart space. Draw that breath into that space. Envision it widening and expanding. And ask the heart if it gives permission today to be healed by its own energy. And ask the heart if it can reactivate the two bridges. And take a nice deep breath in here and sigh. And do I have permission to work in this field? And the answer is yes. Over all our spiritual committees to the minimum size for the maximum effect, I'm getting a yes. And ours is our high self working with the truth, light, wisdom, knowledge, understanding of the potentials of one universe. And are all bodies clear of negative programming? The answer is yes. And what percentage of ego am I working at? I'm working at 1%. And at this time, I'm going to ask for real-time clearing anything and everything without research at this time. And as this real-time clearing is moving to you and through you, I want to invite you back into your heart. And if it feels right and true, you can place your hand on your heart or you can tap in energetically. You may begin to notice any clearing of energy. Any movements within the body. Notice what you're noticing and allow that space to be cleared. Because as this real-time clearing is moving to you and through you, I'm going to ask that anything that is blocking us from having an abundant and limitless relationship with ourselves, spirit, without the desires of our future, I'm going to ask for it to clear anywhere and everywhere that we are giving our power away to limitations, to lack, to fear, to the future, and to what we think may happen. I'm going to ask that we clear any blocks that we may have to stepping into our frequency, stepping into our divine currency of faith, of source, of being resourced by faith rather than fear. And thank you, is that done? And again, I feel like we have some blocks coming in. So I'm going to ask that we reassign any guides, any angels, any masters, any councils of seven, any beings by any other name. I'm going to ask that we clear them to the highest level of consciousness in chart 3. Bring to the right and perfect place at this time. Any members that are sitting on our high self community chains that aren't ready, willing, and able to move forward with us to the next level of consciousness, this next phase of healing, the next phase of our life, that next quantum leap, I'm going to ask that they be reassigned to another soul in our committee so that they can serve there within our soul family. And any new members that are coming in now to join us in this space in our high self committees, I'm going to ask that they have the right and perfect intellect, as well as the right and perfect frequencies to clear all negative programming, activate all levels of healing within us, and establish a new plan that's based on everything positive, but also based on pure potentiality, based on the universal law of sufficiency and abundance. And thank you, is that done? And where are we going first? Is this the correct chart, inside or the outside? We're going to the outside. And where are we going? We're going into money. Is it money or income? It's money. Is it a program or energy? It's a program. Is it being blocked by themes and challenges, and can it be cleared without research? No. So where do we need to go to clear the program of money? We're going to go into a past life and a parallel reality. And when was this program established? This program was established in a future life. And how many characters are we working with? We're working with one. Is that correct? And that one character is simply the self. Do we need to do any research? No. Was there hurt or harm? No. Do we need to know about hurt or harm? No. Can we clear these energies out? Yes. So please clear the program of money, root, trunk, and seed. Clear them out of all levels, all layers, all minds, all fields, all compartments. Clear them out of all your 13 bodies, all the way back to your spiritual committees, right back to the heart of your spirit. And as these motivations, these attachments, these discordant energies, these ideas of beliefs about money are cleared, what I'm hearing is that we created this program around money that was created in this life, in the blueprints of the soul. So what I'm seeing was a download. When we said yes to this life, there are these certain programs that we had to understand in this 3D world so that we could understand how the earth operates. It's an operating program. The idea of the world works, the ideas of how the world works on money, based on dollar bills, based on coin, is what we're clearing right now. Is the limitations, the lacks, and the density that came with that download. So right now you are given a choice to see it as an illusion. That illusion gives false value or false evidence of how we are to function. Let go of that choice point. I see it as a cord. An energetic grid, a money grid that you are plugged into. Unplug yourself. It is simply a choice that we subscribe to. Unplug from the grid that you bought into. Unplug it from not from a state of fear, but from a space of limitlessness, of limitless potentiality. And this new grid can be anything you want it to be, as limitless as you want it to be. This is the space of divine currency. It is simply just energy. It is simply just frequency. And you get to choose what you let in and what you let out. From a space of faith, not fear. From a space of limitless rather than limitations. What will you choose? And thank you. Is that done? Is that lifetime cleared? And where are we going next? We're going into power once again. Is it an energy or a program? It's an energy. And can it be cleared without research at this time? So please clear any and all the negative motivations, any limitations or lack, any resistance fields around power that we are still holding on to, root, trunk, and seed. Clearing out of all levels, all layers, all minds, all fields, all compartments. Clear them out of all your 13 bodies, right back to the heart of your spirit. And the question is going to come up again, where are you giving your power away? In that future timeline or in the present timeline? It's coming up because there's still an awareness that we haven't shifted or changed or released or transmuted. Nothing changes if we don't see it. And if we have this energy of not being good enough, of judgment, I will lose people in my life if I say yes, is a fear we're projecting into the future from a past experience that's based on truth. Evidence about relationships, about people in our lives. They are here because we're congruent with each other. And those who are not in congruency with, we're in conflict with. We see it. Even if we choose not to do anything about it, dismiss it, or ignore it. Or why we make stories up about why we need to maintain that relationship. What is it based on? Fear of you stepping forward and dropping the people, places, and things that no longer align with who you are. Release them. It creates space to let someone else in. And that is a cycle of possibility. If we cling to what is no longer in serving us, or whom is not serving us, then there is no space. It doesn't mean we throw the baby out with the bathwater. Does that mean when someone in our life struggles, we walk away from them? No. But if you have this relationship in your life that you know is completely misaligned, it's time to let them go and make room for someone new, someone that it will be aligned with your purpose. And thank you. Is that clearing done? Yes. And where are we going next? We're going into mop-up. So please clear 100% of the items on the mop-up list, including all the stats. And I'm going to invite you to deepen into your breath and come back into the body. Thank you. Is that done? Yes. And what percentage of the items on the mop-up list have been complete? We're at 100%. And is brain restructuring been complete? Yes. And all pre-programmed illnesses, Alzheimer's, dementia, been cleared. Any pre-programmed illnesses and accidents been cleared as well. And does your soul agree that this has been cleared? And the answer is yes. Does my high self and your high self agree that this has been cleared? The answer is yes. And is there any other programs coming up to be cleared at this time? And the answer is no. And are we clear to the highest level of consciousness? Yeah. And at what percent accuracy? We're at 100%. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. And at this point, I'd like to call in any angels of light to help you integrate this clearing from both of us. Call forth your guidance teams, your soul family, your ancestors, your star family. I welcome them in to assist and support you and myself moving forward with divine timing for ourselves and for each other. And so it is. Take an inhale and exhale with a sigh. And again, inhale, exhale, sigh. Calling yourself fully back to the body as you begin to gently awaken. Notice how you feel coming back into your space.